Hello, everyone. It's Marina from the Jungle, and I'm joined here today with Hayley Boswell from Defenz Kids. And we're going to talk about all things Defenz Kids and what was the motivation behind her filling up her spare time doing this great community service, and also a bit about what you can do as a broader community interested in enhancing social connection and what you can do right now to help Hayley achieve her vision. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me today. I'm so excited to be here and talk to you.
Yeah, we've already been talking. So if the vibe has sort of rolled on from our previous conversation, we were just not necessarily solving the world's problems, because I actually think that's a little bit beyond our pay grade.
A little bit. Well,
So let's talk about Defenz Kids, because we at the Jungle are super proud to be supporting you, whether it be through exposure or getting our clients to be able to nominate you as their charity of choice. But just tell us a little bit about Defenz Kids, and if you can, even weave in the story of how you decided to enter into this world of social justice.
it's a pretty big story, but I'll do a bit of a synopsis. So Defenz Kids, Defenz Kids is a national charity. We support all military children. So that is veteran children, current serving reservist children. So everybody is welcome in Defenz Kids if you're a military child, military family member. And what we do is we support military families through different mechanisms. So we have deployment packs. So we do deployment packs, which are really, really popular with military children. We also do grievance packs. We do different wellness packs. And also we'll have a lot more than the packs, but we also have a wellness hub, which is of free resources for military families and for schools and communities. So they can log onto our website, download all of our free resources. And they're things like certificates for military children, which the children go wild over. They love recognition, as don't we all. I feel like when I was a child, I was collecting certificates from day one. So they've been really, really popular. We've also got colouring sheets, Anzac Day themed. So really what we do, it's about empowering and supporting military children to make sure that they feel seen and heard. And I guess the reason that we started this was my personal story. So my background is a lawyer and a youth worker. So I've always been into social justice and supporting, I guess, the underdogs and making sure that everybody has a voice, really, especially when it comes to making decisions about their lives. And so what had happened was my partner, Navy, 24 years service, long time. We had our children and I had my first child. And then I realized that, wait a second, he's going to be deployed soon. And what does that mean for my little girl? She's going to miss her dad. How do I keep them connected even though there's going to be distance? And so 2:00 in the morning, I was feeding my child and I thought, how do I do this? There's got to be books around this, right? Couldn't find anything that was relevant. So I thought, well, for my first Father's Day, I will create a little children's book for him. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. It's called My Dad's in the Australian Navy. And so I created that for them so that they had something that was tangible that could educate her about service life so she still felt seen and recognised. And so that book has been a staple in our family. It is still a staple. My children still read it and they're 8 and 7. So it's a little bit beyond them now, but, the sentiment is still there. And so from that, we've grown exponentially. So my partner put it on his Facebook private page. We had about 200 messages within an hour saying, where do we purchase this book? And I just didn't realize, to be honest, there was such a big need. I was relatively new to defence life, but I've always advocated. So I thought, okay, families need this. Let's do it. Why can't we? So I then printed the books, sent them out. That got a little bit crazy. So then I had Army spouses saying, so why do Navy have this and we don't have this? And I thought, okay, don't want Army spouses coming at me. I can create one. Let's do this. So I did one from the Army spouses. Air Force said the same. And then it just kept going. And then the Army mums were, they were saying, wait a second. That females serve too, mums serve too. And I was like, okay, we can do mum versions. So now we've got dad version, mum version, a children's book that is about bedtime and a graphic novel. And we've now sold over 17,000 stories to children. So
I love this. Yeah. Good for you.
It's gone pretty next level. It wasn't what I visioned. Literally, it started from just wanting to support my military child, which is amazing. And now schools are stocking them. They're reading these stories in schools. Defense school mentors are using them. Like, it's really lovely that, the impact. And what it does is it creates a conversation. So it's a conversation starter about, life, what you go through, and also the coolness of it as well. I mean, service life isn't doom and gloom. I mean, my kids get to go on ships all the time, and I think that is the best thing in the world.
That's pretty
And
cool.
it's pretty cool to go on a ship. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's Anzac Day is amazing for our kids, So even though there's some challenges, and there really are some challenges with, separation, moving schools, there's also some cool stuff with it. We get to have friends all around the country. The experiences that we get, we get to move to different countries to serve in different ways. So our community is honestly, it's the best community. I love our community. One thing about our community is we are so tight-knit. So when there's an issue, families step up, we'll help each other out. It's the best. So that's that's the short version. I could talk about this forever.
I think the part that I find really cool about this story is how you as an individual have seen a gap and you've, for your own family, but then you've been willing to share that solution or, the pain of it and then the healing of it with a broader group, and it's resonated with them, and everyone has sort of come together with this shared experience and this shared energy to make things better for the next generation, and also the parents, giving them tools. There's a real community story behind this, which is, for me, I think is as admirable as supporting the individual kids as well. There's a sense of connection that you're fostering that is beautiful and very, very powerful to create safety for kids to operate within a community as well. So
yeah, well, what we found was kids were moving into new schools and other children didn't understand service life. And so what these books do is they create empathy within a community and make that community stronger. And understanding then flows, and it's a ripple effect. So people now in our community and in the civilian community are talking about Anzac Day, the Anzac Day parade, what it means to wear a poppy flower, what it means for rosemary, what does service life look like? A lot of these civilian families honestly have no idea. So the message and the support it just continues to grow, which, like, honestly, I'm so humbled to be in a position where I could support these families. I love it. Like, I'm so passionate about making sure that these families are empowered. I mean, our servicemen and women go away, they risk their lives. Training isn't easy. It's hardcore, and there's inherent risk in all that they do. I mean, they go to bushfires, they're doing COVID assist, they're doing all this hardcore stuff, and you got these families behind. So we're making sure that they're supported, and that when those separations do occur, they've got a community to fall back on.
Or even conversations like this, I think, are another little link, another little meshing up of our broader community that allows everyone to, sort of just understand each other. And one aspect of what you're doing I admire greatly is how gentle it is. There's a bit of a trend in the world that we see where everyone's sort of screaming for attention and they're screaming to be understood. And in doing so, become incredibly unlikable throughout that job, demanding to be understood. Yeah. But your strategy of sharing, I guess, the heart part of it, bit of education, people can go to it when they want to or when it's appropriate, feels like it's going to be more successful over time and generations. I'm not sure your thoughts on that. That's my observation.
Yeah, look, and absolutely. And I think we're there for when they need us, when we're not screamers. And I think that's honestly part of service life anyway. We're here to serve the community. So when they need us, we are there waiting. We get people reaching out all the time for different levels of support. And sometimes it might just be, this has happened, can we talk? And it's like, yep, sure. How do we talk through this? Or who do we refer you to? Or sometimes families just want to vent, because I can assure you, every time a service member goes away, something breaks and the spouse is left there fixing it. Like one time I was at home, I had a baby who was sick, like just not well. And then at the same time, I had my shower blow out and water soaked me. That's what happens, right? We always say, whenever they go away, what's going to break? Something's going to break. So sometimes you just need a family member to cry with and go, why is this happening right now? And laugh through it and say, yep, it's crap right now. It's horrible. But you know what? it will be fine. It will be okay. And, we've got this together. So that's I guess, the big messaging. You're right. We don't need to scream. I don't think that serves anyone, to be honest, like my personal opinion. I couldn't think of anything worse than doing that. But yeah, look, we're the quiet achievers, really. I mean, and that shows on our social media. I mean, our social media, we have a social media reach at the moment for 26 million people. It's huge.
Wow.
It
That's amazing.
is huge because we're there providing support and a face when they need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need to scream to get attention. If you're doing a good job and if you're doing, and you're coming at it with the right heart and, the morality around it, I mean, we just want to help people. That's where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this model where you've got the kids at the center of the discussion and you've got instruments and tools to help the children, it has this sort of anchoring effect that the community can then focus on, they get behind that. And then relationships just organically grow between mothers, fathers, and what have you, which in itself is strengthening. And then, but it's not I don't know if you've ever been to one of those. I'm not a fan of networking events because for me, it's a bit awkward. I'm not a small talk type of person, so I just find it a bit tricky.
Yeah.
But when I was reflecting on your model, I was like, we actually don't have to have that one-on-one awkward relationship building. You can focus your discussion and the shared interest on your children, and you have something in common straight away by your participation. And I think that's actually incredibly powerful. As much as helping the kids, it creates a sense of warmth around the children, and the books are educational, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great model.
Absolutely. And I think that's where our events come in. So when we do an event, like we've got one coming up that we're doing one at our zoo, and, there's animals around and there's children playing and they play together and they have a blast because they're just being themselves in a community who understands them. And then organically, the families talk and they're creating a peer support network without even knowing it.
Yeah, well, it's not orchestrated or false or disingenuous. It's just like, hey, no, we're all here. We've all got this common goal. And it's a bit like, kids' sport where you stand on the sidelines with people who you would never normally talk to or build a relationship with. I mean, sometimes it ends up being a friendship, but you're just united because you're all standing there in the freezing cold during soccer going, it's so positive on that front. So where do you see your charity and your foundation? I'm going to call it a movement. It's a little mini movement, but I think it is. I think we've got to see more of these community-focused groups coming together and helping each other out to strengthen all of us. But where do you see it in 5 years?
5 years' time. So we're looking to we want the deployment packs to be everywhere. So, but we say world domination in the most nicest.
Just I'm going to say, that phrase is a little bit off-brand at the moment.
Not world domination? How do you make it sound nice? In the most positive of, how do you say world domination in a nice way?
Without it, everyone's mind's instantly going to the WTF of what's going on in the world.
In the most like a global movement of love. There we go. We'll go with that.
Let's become hippies again. Yeah.
What? Okay. So we've done a full circle, not world domination, global movement of love. Okay. We'll go with that moving forward.
Maybe just a stubborn indifference to the absolute ridiculousness of breaking apart society. That's a bit intellectual, but
Look, yes, absolutely right. So we'll go with that. So look, 5 years, honestly. So we want this to be international because we see that military children, even though we're based in Australia, obviously, a lot of our families go internationally. And a lot of international families come over here. So we have a huge American military presence over here, UK presence. So for us, it doesn't matter where the child is supported. So we've got really strong partnerships at the moment with some US people. We've got some US ambassadors. So we're looking to really expand that. One of the key areas is we want our events to be national as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that's really important for that connection piece for community. But I also think that we really want to get our cartoon animation up. So we've got the books. We have this amazing set of children's cartoon characters that military children identify with and know who they are now. So they wear our T-shirts with their characters on them and it gives them a sense of identity and empowerment, which is really important for us. So We want to see this cartoon produced, created, so that no matter where you are in the world, you can access this, and then it creates that piece of identity and empowerment. So I guess that's 5 years where we would obviously like to be. We would like that to be everywhere. But it's also about making sure that we're more connected. So we want to make sure that families are more supported. There's some better policy around military families, because I think there's a bit of this misconception that military families get free housing, for example. We do not get free housing. We wish we got free housing. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that? But that's, far from the reality of military life. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions around that. And then that feeds into the children as well. So it's about a re-education piece. It's about a support piece. How do we best support them? How do we best make sure that when they do transition into a new school, that they've got supports, that they're ready, that they're identified, and that, teachers can step in and say, oh, you're a military family member. This is how we do it. So, for example, last year, I think it was last year, all my years have now merged because we've ticked over in 2026. So I think it was 2024.
Yeah.
We worked with government to create a military tick box on enrolment forms so that all military children now moving into a new school can be identified and best supported. So we will keep pushing those. Our advocacy is very strong. We have very, very good relationships with government, and they listen to us, which is always helpful. Through not screaming, turns out. Don't have to scream and government can listen to you, which is amazing. So there's some ways around bees with honey. There's some ways around it. And I think even we've now got a Veteran Families Day in South Australia, which is the first in the country that we pushed for. So I'd also like to see that rolled out nationally. So there's some things in the works. 5 years is not very long because we have such a big plan, for our festival of love that we're creating. But I think, we're very determined, and our board is full of spouses and people that are change makers, and we have amazing support behind us, like you, like other people that have reached out and said, how can we best give awareness to what you're trying to do? I think it's just a matter of time. Like I always say, the cartoon's going to happen. It's just a matter of timing. Like, when is the right time for this cartoon to be released into the sphere? So
yeah. I love that. And with your energy and your professionalism, and I think the follow through cannot be understated. You see a lot of people in their sector who have bright ideas, but they're bright, they shine bright and then disappear. That determination coupled with just tenacity and following through and being professional, and, some people might see it as a bit boring because there ain't no crypto or any of that stuff, bro. It's actually what is done to build genuine change over time. And I just want to comment, I love the fact that your board has people with a genuine interest in it. They're not just, that sort of group of the board people just doing it for the power or the prestige. I love that this is actually back to what a board is supposed to be. And they're supposed to be connected to the cause primarily. Their own self-interest should be second. So good for you.
Absolutely.
Love it.
We always say we don't have an ego. So everything we do is for the children and families. Like, we genuinely I don't like recognition. I get embarrassed. You wouldn't think it, but I'm actually a background person, and I love sitting in the background and making the change. It's extremely uncomfortable for me to be at the front, but I do this because it's for military children and I know that they need it. So I step up.
Yeah. I think it's very genuine in you as well. I think there's a lot of cynicism where you see people who are leaders or founders, and, I'm one of them. I don't like doing it, but it is a part of what we do to be able to spread the message. And it's a good example of where you have to get out of your own somewhat selfish comfort zone to go, this is for a greater good. So you did your hair. I brushed my hair.
Thank you. I even washed it. I even washed it for this. But mine is if you'll be able to tell.
Mine screams functional. Mine's just it's almost like a dude cut where it's brush and go.
I'm going lighter because I'm starting to get older now. And so I have to go lighter, they've told me. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean I have to go lighter? Well, because I feel like otherwise I'm just going to have these beautiful greys, which is fine. Embrace your age. I'm all for it. But yeah, they're like, it's time for you to go lighter. It's like, is it? Okay.
Hey, whoever they are, right? Send me their details and we'll prank call them. We'll prank call them.
I will. I'll be like, wrong person to mess with. She needs to stay dark.
Do whatever you like. Anyway, all right, all right, we're off track now. I just want to thank you so much for making the time for telling your story a little bit. Love to have you back and get updates on what we're doing. And I love exploring the community side of it, which I think is what people would really connect to, as well as supporting the cause on an individual level. But the fact you are doing something to knit our community back up together deserves to be supported. So for those of you who are listening, we will put all the details of Hayley and Defenz Kids in the comment section. Please donate generously. It's a proper charity, so you get a receipt. Think about it at tax time. But also the impact you have, like the pebble in the river, the ripple effect is real. So anything we can do to overcome little bit of fracturing that's going on in the world, we should all stick our hand in our pocket and our hearts to, Hayley. All right. That's it. Any final comments, Hayley?
No, look, thank you so much for this opportunity. Like, I genuinely really appreciate it. And as you said, the ripple effect for supporting us is actually really big. I mean, 1 in 20 military families in Australia, 1 in 20 families in Australia are military connected. So it's a huge, huge community of military children that aren't really being looked over the best that they could. So any help for us to create these packs, to feel them, to let them feel seen, supported, to make them, sleep a little bit easier at night is honestly so very appreciated. So thank you.
It's really good. It's really, nice. There was one very last thing I need to do, which could destroy our relationship forever. I need to ask you 3 questions.
Yep.
And I will be judging you.
Okay, right.
All right.
Game face on. Yep.
All right, because we're Australian and we have the footy culture, are you a Port or a Crows person?
So does it have to be like a one-word answer? So I used to be Crows, genuinely used to be Crows. However, my partner is Port through and through. My children are Port. I am now Port.
Great.
And also my immigrant family who came over, we just realised yesterday they actually came into the port, and that's where they were first introduced to Australia, was in Port Adelaide. So I feel like it's in my genes.
It is. And that was going
in the 1800s. It was, so the port is Port through and through apparently since the 1800s.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good few years for us. Yeah, we're still on track. All right, favourite ice cream flavour?
That's really tricky.
Psychological test.
Look, so in Moonta, in the Yorke Peninsula, they have a honey ice cream. It's so good. I think that would probably, if I'm going out, I would always have that. But also, there's so many good, like Hokey Pokey, like vintage ice cream. No, not Hokey Pokey. Are you gonna like chocolate, boring chocolate? I do love chocolate.
No, I'm worse. I'm a French vanilla. I'm the most boring person in the world. Creamy vanilla.
I feel like there's no bad ice cream though, right? I mean, I really like honey, but I feel like there's no bad ice cream.
I do judge people who eat a lot of pistachio or black pepper ice cream. Anyway, last question before we disappear. Are you a cat or a dog person?
A dog. Dog always.
Okay, you're all good. 2 out of 3 is bad. That's it. You can come back. Poor dog person.
Well, I'm excited to come back. Thank you, because you always make it so much fun.
I reckon next time we talk about how to build these social enterprises. So on that note, I just want to say thank you. Once again, it has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you around the traps, and just keep up the good work for everyone. So thank you, Hayley.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.